This is Miami All Access.
For the team, 2 huge wins last week on the road. Talk about this week and the change that we've seen in the team, defensively particularly. It's just been great.
Well, I think you hit it on the head. That's where it started on the defensive end. I think one of the things that I think this group has really come to grasp probably over the past 2.5 weeks is that, you can be in a game in more ways than one. And there are going to be times when your offense doesn't give you the things you want, but if you can go down on the other end of the court and make a concerted effort to really defend, and it starts with team defense, and that guys are starting to understand that, there are going to be breakdowns, but if your teammate's there and has your back and the rotations are correct, then we have an opportunity to overcome, some situations where we may not be locked in, or we may just not do what we need to, or not getting done the things that we want to do. And I think that has become, one of the main things. And I think our energy's been very good. And, we've struggled at times on the boards, but, we've been able to find other ways to create maybe some chaos on the defensive end. We've maybe been able to, force some turnovers. And when we force those turnovers, we've been successful in converting and scoring off of those opportunities. So it's been a lot of things, a lot of little things, I should say. And we've sort of settled into a groove. I think guys know, where their minutes are going to come on most nights. And I think more than anything is that the group has come together and they realize that, we can be a good basketball team if we do it together.
Yeah, you talked about guys and knowing where their minutes are going to come and that sort of thing. I think one of the more impressive things I've seen over the last couple of weeks is, from a coaching standpoint and finding the right buttons at the right time. You go to Bowling Green, you needed a Jared Eustace to step up. You get Jared Eustace to step up. You needed Willie Moore to step up in both these games defensively. He did that. You needed Caleb Wright defensively the other night against Akron to step up. So finding those guys in the right situation doesn't mean they're always going to play those minutes every game, but finding them in the right situation has been key.
Well, I think, what you hope is that at this point that you're familiar with your team. There are times, you look back at the Akron game and the second half, and they're pounding us inside. And so what you're trying to do is to find someone that can step up and give you a few stops inside. And Caleb was able to, be solid and not let them score so easily. Sully hits a couple of threes. Like you said, Willie, Jared really steps up big in Bowling Green. And then when those guys are doing those things and having the confidence in them to leave them out there on the court, and their teammates who may normally be playing those minutes, instead of sulking, I look on the bench, and they're the main ones screaming, yelling, cheering. And so it's kind of neat to watch what can happen with a group when they remove themselves. And I looked at the team in the locker room after the Akron game, and quite frankly, we had some guys that play a lot of minutes. We had Caleb step over and take a charge, maybe his best charge of the year, and we struggled with that with him, and just really giving up his body and not opening up, but just taking it. And I talked to him and I said, you think about it. You don't take that charge, game doesn't go into overtime. Not that it was the only play, but it goes to show you the significance of doing the little things. And I talked to this team that, it hurts to win. And we've got some guys that are banged up. But as we talked in the locker room the other day, they all agreed it feels a lot better though when you're winning. It doesn't hurt so much. And so if you begin to grasp that concept and understand that it's going to hurt to win, it hurts to lose. But boy, oh boy, does it feel a whole lot better when you're putting the games on the left side, as one of my buddies always says. Sends me a text after every win, and he says, left side, please, meaning that it goes in the W column. So
Yeah, it has been an amazing, obviously, couple of weeks here for the team. You're in a position now with 4 games to play, 3 at home. How do you take that energy that you found on those road games and bring it back to Millette Hall?
Well, I think a couple things are important. One is that we don't get complacent, number one. Understanding just because we're at home doesn't guarantee that, we're going to win the basketball game. Second thing is our mental capacity to really be able to lock in and focus has to be sharp. We're not going as long in practice. We've got guys playing some heavy minutes. And so from a mental standpoint, we have to really understand what's going on and really be able to execute it. And then, I think it's no question that we've gone on the road and quite frankly, we've played in some pretty doggone good environments. And I think our team has been able to really get great energy from being in those environments. And so hopefully we can duplicate those environments here, and that, however many fans it is, whether it's, 1,100, whether it's 2,000, heck, maybe it's 4,000. But if they're here in the building, that, let it go and enjoy, because it really does help our team. And I think they really do derive a lot of energy from our fans, and it really does make a pretty neat atmosphere and a fun time. And so hopefully we can get, that same type of atmosphere, and that, and understanding that this group is really sold out, and they've sold out to each other, and that energy really helps them.
Kent State, first opponent coming up tomorrow night. Close game up there. Probably one we should have won, but this is a good ball club that Rob has coming in.
All right, shoulda, coulda, woulda, and good teams find ways to win games. I want to say it's the 3rd game in a row we've taken on the first place team, possibly. So it's been an interesting little run here. They're good. Rob's done a really good job with this group. They have very good guard play. They've got a couple kids that can really make shots. Obviously Manley, Jackson, Brewer, and no disrespect to any of the other kids, but those 3 certainly. And then of course they have a presence inside with the addition of Jimmy Hall, and he really stresses your defense, because those kids shoot the ball extremely well, and he plays very well inside. So you've got to make a decision as to what you're going to do. So obviously they've gone on the road, they've won games, they've won in tough environments. We've got our hands full. We played them about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, I should say. They were a little bit shorthanded. I'm sure if you're Rob, you're feeling good and that you're able to find a way to win, and you weren't all the way at full capacity. And so for us, number one, we've got to be able to rebound the basketball somehow. We've got to be able to just limit their offensive rebounds, and that's a hard task for us. But we've got to stay composed, play the game. I think what's become clear is that all the games are coming down basically to the last 4 or 5 minutes. Here the past couple games, we've been able to execute throughout those time frames, but we didn't execute against them up at their place during that time frame. So, if we find ourselves in the same situation, that hopefully we can figure out a way to close it out this time and really continue to build on the momentum that we've been able to create here over the past couple games on the road.